Morning viewers, day 73, 14 miles today, going into Leroy to resupply. I got in last night, I'd done 23.5 miles or whatever, unpacked and everything, and then people come in and said, oh, there's a bear about 200 yards away, so all the young people went running up and to have a look and all that. I was too tired. They got video and pictures of it, so yeah, it wasn't far away, but didn't come in and annoy us last night. But I'm standing roughly around where it is, so hopefully it's moved on. Yeah, there's a lot of people seeing lots of where I had the lots of bears. Where I had the restaurant food yesterday, a bear and 2 cubs come into the campsite as well. Walking through the campsite looking for food, so they're out and about at the moment. And being in the Shenandoahs, there is lots of bears. Here's another one of those rock rivers that they have here in America. It's coming down the side of the mountain. It's really strange. So we've got a bear with 2 cubs. Yes.
Pretty cool.
Don't know where the 2 cubs are, but the bears. Well, that was my first true bear on the trail. Timing's everything. If I'd have kept walking a couple of minutes earlier, I stopped for a drink. I actually stopped to do my shoelace up, and I would have got to that bear first, but because I stopped to do my shoelace up, so the hiker came up quickly behind me. I thought, oh, he's walking quicker than me, I'll let him go through. And within a minute of going past me, he came across the cubs and the bear on the trail, and the mother bear charged him a little bit. He clacked his poles together and the cubs went up a tree and the mother bear followed. I wonder what would have happened if it had been me at the front. So by the time I got there, he was already sort of shooing the bear off to that tree off to the side. Once it was over there, snorted a little bit at us, but just sort of kept a watchful eye. Gave us a chance to do some video and move on. So, timing's everything. I've walked about 4.5 to 5 miles, and this is Skyland restaurant and cafe. And because I'm one day ahead of my schedule, I actually got here on a Sunday and not a Monday, and the Sunday is a buffet breakfast, so I'm hoping to get a breakfast. It does say you have to reserve, that's the only thing. I'm going to see if I can find out. So I'm in the restaurant. It's $15 for all you can eat. I've got a hot chocolate and orange juice, some bacon, some scones with mushroom gravy, some potatoes, some sausages, and I'll be going back for pancakes after. It's very nice. That's a view down over Skyland Drive and around into the valley. Beautiful. So I don't know if people noticed, but I've actually wearing my other shirt today. Just double check. Appalachian Trail, yep. The reason I had to swap my shirt, the other one's wet from the rain last night, but before that it was a whole lot of sweat. It's been pretty hot the last 3 days, and under my arm on the left hand side I had a really bad rash last night. Basically had to try and sleep with my arm up so that the two pieces of skin weren't rubbing against each other. Even putting the sleeping bag in between them was hurting. So well, this morning was quite a bit better. So I thought, alright, I'm going to have to swap shirts. So put on the, and I am going into town today, so it all gets washed. So put on the work shirt, which usually when I start really sweating, it gets quite rank because the sock smell just doesn't come out of it. But it worked in my favour because I went into that Skyland restaurant today with at least the shirt was a bit fresh. I'd only done like 3 or 4 miles, so I wasn't completely rank. When I went in there, I feel sorry for the other customers, but yeah, so that's why the other shirt's on today, just because I was getting a really bad rash under the arm. I just had a break at a picnic area, and then I've come out to this car park, and what a view. It's the same valley as I was looking at earlier, but just from a much different angle earlier this morning. Anyone that's contemplating doing the Appalachian Trail, the best hiking by far so far has been from Waynesboro through to Big Meadows Campground. It was beautiful hiking, very hiker friendly. Now from Big Meadows to Luray, the rocks are back. The trail is a lot wider, mainly because of the amount of day walkers, so it's really a day hike, but you have to watch your feet because there is rocks right through it. So it does slow you down a little bit more pleasurable than some of the rock scrambles that I had on the other side of Waynesboro, where it was slippery and wet and the track was a lot narrower. So just be mindful of that. You see the storm clouds rolling in on the other side. We've just crossed over the mountains. This is the view from the other side, and those low clouds over there look like they've got a lot of water in them. We'll see how we go. I literally had about 2 meters to go when I got 1 or 2 drops. I put my pack down there, and now it is belting down. So I just got to wait here for my shuttle driver to come and pick me up. So we're at the Open Arms Inn. It's a house. They have 8 beds. I'm down in the cave, what they call the cave, so they're just starting to do it up. I'll have my own. There's only 2 of us down here. Got a lounge suite and that they're just starting to do up. A couple of beds, and then over here got the bathroom. I can use the upstairs one if I want to. That was what I used. And then yeah, we go up the stairs. So it says it's a basement, but it's all above ground, so it's not really a basement. Very nice host. She came and picked us up 3:30. I was very lucky I missed the rain by minutes, and yeah, really nice host, and upstairs looks really nice. If I get a chance, I'll film the outside. Hey, g'day viewers, Reboot here. Sorry, Wally's gone to bed, it's late. I'm in the Open Arms Hostel. It's a nice family orientated hospital. Lady opens up a house. She's got 8 twin beds, 2 of them in the basement. Well, the basement's still above ground, so I don't know how it's a basement, but it's called the Cave, and I'm in the Cave, one of the last ones to get a bunk. Thunderstorm came in this afternoon, and I chose, rather than tent, to pay the extra $15 and get a bed. Just a review of week 10, day 64 to 70. Day 64, did 24 miles in the rain and decided to go into Bonavista. Glasgow was got a hostel there called Stanimals. That was booked out. We knew that 4 days ago. We were going to go to a pavilion that's provided by the town. It has bunks. It's like a shelter really, but it has warm showers and that in the park. But after 20 miles in the rain, we chose to split a room. We had to go to another town called Bonavista, a little bit further up, and it was pretty cheap, to be honest. One of the rooms, because they had a kitchen in it, sloped. The bathroom and shower is nothing to talk about, but it seemed fairly clean, so that was all that we wanted. Day 65, we come out of there, went back to the trailhead, and it was still pouring rain. We'd had so much rain the last 4 or 5 days, so we walked. It was a lot of uphill. It felt like we were going into the clouds and beyond. We just kept going up, 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 and couldn't see anything around us other than grey. Day 66, we did 15 miles, and Hawkeye's foot was getting worse and worse and worse. It was getting swollen to the point where 15 was our minimum. We were aiming to do 22. He limped into that hut. Very luckily, he was able to get cell service. He rang the shuttle driver that had picked us up on day 64 to take us to the motel, and that guy was able to work out a way to get him off the mountain by only doing another 2 miles to a dirt road intersection. And then he had to walk, Hawkeye had to walk a mile downhill, look for a big tree, turn right, follow this little trail, and then it would have come out to a parking lot. But the gentleman was willing to, if Hawkeye couldn't find it, he was going to leave his car and walk up to find Hawkeye. So very lucky, perfect position for us to have to get him off. Anywhere else could have been a lot of trouble. So from there, so day 67, I basically walked alone after that first 2 miles with Hawkeye. It was really hot, and we had a mountain called The Priest, and luckily for me, southbounders would have had to go up it. I had to go down it, and it was 5 miles, so that's like 8 kilometres, just going down, 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 and rocks, lots of rocks. But by the end of the 3,000 foot descent, so that's probably nearly a kilometre going down. The front of my feet were killing me from pushing into the front of my shoes. So I got to the bottom and soaked my feet in the river, and then the next thing to do, cross the suspension bridge, 3,000 metres straight back up what they call the 3 ridges. Not as many rocks. Boy, was it hot. So I had a little bit of fun with playing a music song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and I carried a Coke all the way up there, and boy did I enjoy it when I got to the top. Then the thunderstorms decided to try and come in like they do every afternoon, so it was a bolt down to the shelter. Another 2 miles, I would have got to a road intersection, and I could have tried to hitch to a brewery that Lee camped there for free. But I was pretty exhausted, and none of my group are around me, so I just thought, well, that's a waste of money to go in there and eat by myself. So I chose to stay at the shelter. 3 other people were there. They were all going to camp in tents. I was going to be the only one in the shelter, read the shelter book. Black snake looking after the mice. Looked around, couldn't see any black snake. Was talking to another hiker. Then the 3rd hiker come past. He goes, "Oh look, there's a big black snake." He was coming out from underneath the shelter. I'm not staying in there anymore. So he wasn't fussed, so we swapped spots. I took his campsite, he took my spot in the shelter. Well, he had the whole shelter to himself. That night we had huge thunderstorms. His tent spot was nice and flat, but it was at the bottom of a hill. I had all my night, I was just trying to keep everything dry up off the ground. Basically, I was staying on the lilo. I packed me sleeping bag away because as soon as it went off the side of me air mattress, it got drenched in water. So I just tried to sleep in my thermals, put them on, tried to stay warm that way. After about 2 hours of thunderstorm that moved on, I have a little chamois type thing. I tried to clean up as much water as I can. Good thing though, when I talked to the guy in the shelter again, when he went round later that night with a head torch on, there was a second snake in the shelter, a baby snake. So I'm not great with snakes. I'm very happy I didn't stay in there. Day 68, racked up another 20 miles. I knew I was going into a motel, so Hawkeye had got off, paid for an extra night in a motel, but his wife was coming over the weekend, so we'd already arranged to have one night in there, so he was just there waiting. The first 7 miles of that 20 miles was all rocks, and I mean all rocks, no dirt. It was just rock to rock to rock to rock, and slippery because of all the rain the night before. And I did have a tumble, landed on my forearm. Thought I'd broken it at one point because it was killing me for about 15 minutes, and then the pain went away and I just had 2 indentations. So talking to a female hiker who's from Australia as well, later on that day, she also fell in that same section. They were just very, very slippery. Got into Waynesboro. Hawkeye's foot looked worse, but I was so glad I got in and just relaxed. Day 69, Hawkeye and his wife invited me to stay at the bread and breakfast with them, and the Airbnb, and which I did, and I went and watched the movie Deadpool just to do something different. Movies are cheap, $9, but the popcorn and Coke is still the same price. It was $18 for that. Mind you, you can go out of the cinema and refill it as many times as you want. Can't do that in Australia. Well, not where I am anyway. Day 70, left Hawkeye. He dropped me off in the morning. I felt really good. I did 20 miles, which was the plan, very early on. I talked to a couple of section hikers. They said you can camp at the picnic area. That was another 3. I thought, oh, I'm going to go do that. I did another 3, which was pretty much all uphill. Set up my tent, get me food ready, and the park ranger come around 7:30 at night. Said, you can't camp here. You're going to have to move on. The next designated camping area was another 4 miles, which is 6 k's, and it was already 7:30. It gets dark at about 8:45, and I was cooking food, and I had stuff everywhere. So finished cooking my stuff, didn't even eat it, just packed it into a keep warm bag, had my hot chocolate in my hand, and packed everything else away and started hiking, just with drinking the hot chocolate while I was going. I did that 6 k's in an hour, and I got there at about 10 to 9. It was pretty dark. Set my tent up. Supposed to pay $15 at that campsite, but the shop was shut, and it wasn't open when I left in the morning, so I didn't pay. Don't tell anyone. Did realise the Shenandoahs are very friendly. That section from Waynesboro to now Big Meadows campsite, which is a couple of days later, beautiful hiking. There is still lots of ups and downs, 900 feet, 300 metres, but just really hiker friendly, not breaking your ankles and causing you to turn left right, just to keep your feet in a good position. After that, it starts getting a bit rocky again. All right, I'll move on to the miles. Okay, so the finances are the miles. I did 124 miles for the week, which was 1 mile less than my best, 125. But it included a 0 as well, so I did that in 6 days. It's 198 kilometres, giving me a total at the end of week 10 of 890 miles and 1,423 kilometres. My average for that week, 18 miles a day or 29 kilometres a day, and my overall average now has jumped from 12 to 13 miles per day and 20 kilometres a day. So remembering I'm trying to get to 15. Zeros, I did have a 0, so that's now 11 0 days that I've had in 10 weeks. Neros, I didn't have any of them, so I've only had 8 of those, and I had 3 motels or hostel stays, Buena Vista, Waynesboro, and then the Airbnb the next day on the 0, giving me 31 days out of 70 where I've stayed in accommodation.
money wise, so I spent $48.30 resupplying last week in American, $63.70 in restaurants, $77.85 for the 2 accommodation stays that I had to pay for. The Airbnb, Hawkeye said I didn't have to pay. Transport and other, so this includes the movies and popcorn, $47, and laundry $6 American. So in Australian, $64.40 in resupply, and in town cost $259.40. Total for the week in American, $242.85, Australian $323.80, and after 10 weeks in American, I've spent $2,634.69, so an average of $263 a week. In Australian, $3,498.81, so just a touch under $350 a week in food and accommodation on average, which is $3,498. My budget suggested I would have spent $3,411, so I'm about $70 over. Next week's a big week in the budget, $580, which I'm nearly halfway through, and I don't think I'm going to spend over $500 so far. How many days in am I? 4th day in. I'm probably up to about $100, so I should be ahead of budget next week. So the Shenandoah's day 66 in the last week, where I went through very low points. Did get emotional. It's not the first time I've been emotional, but it was the first time I'd actually caught it on camera, and it was sort of come unexpectedly. I was just going to talk about Hawkeye leaving. This week, Hawkeye's been off the trail. I have struggled mentally. Going back to being alone. The other group, Selham and Grey Squirrel, a couple of days behind me. I might actually see Selham shortly because he's doing some big days, but then he's taking a couple of zeros because he's got family coming. So I might see him and then he'll drop away again. Very hard when I'm getting into shelters knowing I won't know anyone. Hiking through the day, I'm not seeing anyone I know. They're all new people. Like tonight, I'm in this hostel. There's 8 people here and I don't know any of them. So it just makes it a bit harder. Mind you, 2 of them are doing a slack pack tomorrow, and I was trying to work out a better way of doing my next 4 days into Waynesboro because I was going to do a very big day on the last day. Now I'm doing a very big day tomorrow without a pack, or with a day pack only, so it sort of swaps it around so that the last day when I'm going into Waynesboro is going to be a lot easier. I'm always stronger when I come out of town. I've had some good food in me, and without a pack on, I should be able to do it. This will be my biggest day yet, 28 miles I'm aiming for, which is 45 kilometres. Alright, that's it. I'll try and upload it. The video's been a bit shorter lately because I haven't really been in the mood to video. Hope you're still enjoying them.